Good evening and welcome to the Redevelopment Agency meeting for November 10th, 2020. This meeting is being conducted in accordance with the emergency directives from Governor Sisolak, beginning with Directive 006 and amended by several directives following that. So public seating is limited for the meeting. Public comment may be made prior to the meeting via email, voicemail, and during the meeting we will also have a call-in number for anyone wishing to make public comment. Items listed on the agenda may be taken out of order. Two or more agenda items for consideration may be combined, and any item on the agenda may be removed or related discussion may be delayed at any time. With that, I will call the meeting to order. We will open our first public comment period, and I do believe we have at least one person here. If you'd like to speak.
Thank you.
Please state your name.
My name is Darlene Dufault. I am the senior warden at St. Christopher's Church here in Boulder City on Arizona Street. And we are on the agenda, item 3 on both agendas today. The reason I'm here is because I want to ask and get some clarification about why we are being pulled from the agendas because we're a faith-based organization. I read through the grants, the historic grant, and I didn't see that there was really an exclusion for a building that's faith-based. We're not asking for any funding for any type of worship. We're asking for funding to preserve a historic building in Boulder City. St. Christopher's Church is a prominent landmark in Boulder City in the historic district. And we have so many people that come from so many places specifically to take pictures outside of our church because it's so beautiful. And of course, then they spend their time in the historic district. People worship in a lot of different places. They worship at the library. I know they worship at the Smith Center because the Methodist Church worships there. So if we're looking at specifically a building, which it is in need of repair for painting to preserve the beauty of this building, I'm asking you to look at it that way rather than a faith-based organization, because we're not asking for Bibles or books of common prayer. We're asking to paint our building so that it maintains the beauty that it contributes to the city. So I would ask you to either to try to consider that fact that this really is a building. It is not it's not for worship, it's a building, no different than the library where people worship. I know a lot of churches here in Nevada have received payroll protection funds from the federal government because they consider them a business just like any other. So I'm asking that you put into consideration those facts, as well as the fact that St. Christopher's Church is one of the most prominent landmarks, except for the dam, in Boulder City. So that's what my request is, to get some clarification so we can move forward with this project. We had a very hard time getting bids from painters because there aren't a lot of painters that are in Boulder City or have Boulder City licenses. So we obtained all the bids, we put everything together, and now there's a timeline on those bids because if we wait, they're going to go up, they're going to be higher. And we're not asking for a lot of money. It's under $10,000. And I think just the fact of that the building is so historic in this city and brings so many people to see it, that perhaps you can look at those facts and award us the grant money. Thank you.
Thank you. And I believe we can have somebody speak with you as far as when this might be coming back on the agenda.
Okay.
Anyone else wishing to speak in public comment?
My name is Patricia Jacobson. I'm a member of the vestry at St. Christopher's Episcopal Church, and I would just like to re-emphasize what Darlene was talking about as us being an element of the historic district. We're actually one of the linchpin buildings in this district, in this historic district. We are one of 4 original land grant church properties that were ceded to the parishioners by the original builders of the city. The only 2 left in the historic district now are St. Christopher's and Grace Community Church. But in the beginning, there were 4 land grant churches in this historic district. Both Grace and St. Christopher's share the same neo-Tudor Gothic architecture. In fact, the architecture of both those buildings, it was closely modeled on the architecture of the BLM buildings. We have been a part of the community for so many decades that some people forget that the building is actually part of history. We have people from foreign countries who come just to take pictures in front of the building. We have multiple requests from people who want to film movies there. And it's right on the corridor between the park, the rec center, this building, the hotel. It's on the walking tour, the historic walking tour. It's been on the AAUW home tour. And I think it goes so far beyond an element of a building of worship. It is a building of the community, and it is a building of history. And if we lose that history, it was here before the Broder building. And I think we need to think of that as a part of the history of this historic district. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to speak in public comment who's present here? All right, we'll open the phone line for public comment. That phone number is 702-589-9629. Again, anyone wishing to speak in public comment for the Redevelopment Agency meeting, the phone number is 702-589-9629. Madam City Clerk, were there any email or voicemails for this? Thank you. All right, hearing no others, then we will close the public comment period, and we will move to item number 1 on the agenda, approval of the minutes for the July 14th, 2020 RDA meeting. Any questions or comments? I'll entertain a motion then for approval.
I would like to make a motion to approve the minutes of July 14th.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, we'll move to item number 2. Mr. Mays?
Good evening, Chairman and members of the RDA Board. Charles Martin, Director of Development for Subway Development of Las Vegas, is seeking RDA funds on behalf of SB Boulder City Parkway LLC in order to make exterior improvements to the subway located at 1620 Boulder City Parkway. They're proposing to invest $13,656, which would include painting of the exterior of the building and light poles, parking lot painting, and replacement of exterior signage. With the city's RDA improvement program, they would be eligible for up to 30% reimbursement for these eligible items, which would be approximately $4,096.80. The RDA budget for fiscal year 21 is $180,000. To date, the RDA has approved grants that total $10,466. Mr. Martin is here tonight to answer any questions of the board.
Thank you. Questions or comments from the board? All right, does anyone wish to make a motion then on resolution number 226 regarding the grant for Subway of Boulder City?
I'll make a motion. I move to approve Resolution 226 for new signage
Second.
for Subway.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That's unanimous. Item number 3, as has been noted, regarding St. Christopher's Church has been removed from the agenda. I'm sure it will be coming back at some point after review. We'll move to item number 4, Resolution 228. This is regarding disclosures. Madam City Attorney is on the phone. I believe this applies only to her at this time as she's new in the position. And that is on record, is that correct?
Yes, it was just the final disclosure since she's new to the board. All other disclosures are on file. But just as a reminder, if anybody purchases property that's not their home within the RDA district, you are required to disclose that immediately and be entered into the minutes.
Thank you. Madam City Attorney, any comments you wish to make on this resolution?
I have no comments, Mayor.
Thank you. Any questions or comments from the board? Okay. Anyone wishing to make a motion on resolution 228?
Mayor, I'll move to approve resolution number 228.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, that's unanimous for approval then. We'll move to item number 5, our final public comment period. Anyone wishing to speak during this period may speak on any issue. I believe we have any other members of the public. Anyone wishing to call in, the phone number again is 702-589-9629. And again, Madam City Clerk, were there any emails or voicemails? Thank you. All right, hearing no one for the final public comment period, we will close that and adjourn the redevelopment agency meeting at this time, and we'll begin the council meeting shortly, perhaps now. We'll be